I'm here with Pels head coach Willie Green. You turn 40 soon. When I say Pels head coach Willie Green, what runs through your mind?
Unbelievable. It's surreal, to be honest with you. I've only been coaching for 5 years. So to have this opportunity this early, I'm so grateful. But, you know, I'm prepared and I'm ready for the challenges ahead. I'm excited and looking forward to working with our players, our staff, and connecting and continuing to build.
You know, you just spoke on the fact that you've been coaching for 5 years. And in those 5 years, you have been blessed to be under some really good head coaches. You know, Steve Kerr and also Monty Williams. When I say those two names to you, what have those two guys as coaches, as men, as husbands, what have they given you that you can now carry over to the situation here in New Orleans?
Yeah, well, both of those guys are tremendous leaders, and in different ways. You know, I learned from Steve the importance of managing expectations and constant communication with, you know, a high-level championship caliber team. He would actually go out his way, sometimes uncomfortable conversations, but he did it because he knew the ultimate goal was that everybody needed to be connected. Same thing with Monty, just in a different way. Monty is prepared, detailed. He addresses situations head on, and I learned a lot from both of those great leaders. And I'm fortunate to have the opportunity to learn under Monty, under Steve, and it's really taken my coaching career to the next level, being under those guys.
You spoke on communication, and you talked in your presser about the difference between X's and O's and actually being able to communicate and relate to today's player. How do you have uncomfortable conversations? How do you have difficult conversations and still be able to relate to your players?
Yeah, I think the managing expectation portion is huge. Mm-hmm. If guys understand what's expected of them, then it's easier to have those conversations. Still difficult, and we still may leave a conversation where, you know, someone may disagree or not agree, whatever it is. But there's an honesty involved. I think you have to continue to do that as a coach, as a leader, just in any relationship, and it doesn't stop. You continue to have those constant communication, and I think guys resonate with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can get on the board and draw plays and put you in the right spots, and that's important. But we're asking guys to compete at the highest level. We're asking our staff to put in a tremendous amount of time. I believe that people are willing to go to that level and put in that time when they feel you care about them.
You think about the ability to communicate, and the more I continue to hear about you, I know about you as a player, the more I continue to hear about you as a coach is your ability to communicate to players. Where does that come from with you? Like, is there someone in your life that has kind of showed you that way on how to communicate? I mean, even outside of basketball, in basketball?
Well, you know, because you played in the league, you have a great understanding of the different roles that you've played. You've been a starter, similar to myself, came off the bench, some games where you didn't play. And the thing that most players, most people, they want to know, right? Whatever it is, they just want to know. So that communication is important. I learned it from experience. You know, it was times where I didn't know. And the coaches that were really good at communicating, I felt like they got more out of their teams. The coaches that didn't, or the people that don't, I think it just makes life more difficult.
You spoke about being a role player. I've always felt like role players make the best head coaches. No discredit to the greats of this game, But how has being a role player and playing on different teams and in different roles now prepared you for this role?
Yeah, I think, I can only speak to myself or about myself on that. I think it's a mindfulness that goes into being a role player. You know what it feels like to start and to play starters minutes, what that does to your body, how taxing it is. Maybe you need a little bit more time off in practice. You know what it's like to be a supportive teammate that's not playing. It's tough. But, you want to cheer on the guys because when you're on the floor, you want the same thing. You know what it's like to, play 15 minutes a game or 20 minutes a game off the bench. Having those different experiences allows me to have an understanding for what guys are going through and to be able to communicate with them early, often. And the one thing I haven't been is I haven't been an all-star. I haven't been, won a championship on that level as a player, but I have an understanding of what some of these guys go through. And that's a continuous process. Mm-hmm. The communication, connecting, it doesn't happen overnight, but I believe the key is trying to continue to get there.
When you look at this young Pels roster, and with Zion and B.I. and Nikhil, and you can go Jackson Hayes and Kyra Lewis, what really stands out to you? So like last year when you were in Phoenix and you saw this roster or you were preparing for this game, what stood out to this team about you? About them?
Yeah. Not only are the guys you mentioned, Zion, B.I., Nikhil, Jackson, Kyra, Najee, extremely talented individuals, but high character. And I think that's how you build something special. It's because they care. They want to get better. They're already extremely talented guys, but they're in the gym right now. All of them are striving to be better individually and collectively. And so that spoke to me because the teams that I've been on that's been really successful, most of the guys on the team or all of the guys on the team are really high character guys.
They say good teams are a reflection of their coach. When this Pels team takes the floor next year, what will a Willie Green coached basketball team look like? What will be the identity of the New Orleans Pelicans under head coach Willie Green?
Yeah, well, 3 key bullet points for me is that we want to compete, we want to defend, and we want to share the ball. I know that sounds simple, but it's a lot in that. And compete, which is what these guys do. We want a team on the floor that every game, every practice, every shoot around, every film session, we have a competitive edge about us. Defending is key. Antonio, that you cannot win at a high level unless you can get stops down the stretch. So it's important for us to defend, and then sharing the basketball. It's a connectiveness to it. It's joy. It's fun when everybody's touching it and a part of it. And so those are just 3 bullet points that you will see from a Willie Green coach team.
You talked about joy. I heard Griff mention it. I heard Trajan mention it, and I heard you mention it. Just the joyfulness of being in this situation. Where does that joy stem from?
Honestly, it comes from my faith. I'm a praying guy, praying man. I come from a praying family. I know how blessed and fortunate I am to have this platform, to be in this position. Joy for me comes from within. It'll be days that I may or may not be happy, but I still have a joy about me. And through the hard times, you still want to treat people with respect. You still want to be kind, even though it may be difficult. And I think that's where the joy comes from. And then you think about this city. These people work hard. This community is connected. But the joy is always there. They always find a way to have a great time. And I think this team will represent that.
And you spoke about the city. And your 1 year here, the connection that you were able to develop with this fan base, with this organization, with this community. Why does this New Orleans as a whole holds such a special place in your heart?
You know, it was the first time that I was in Philadelphia for 7 seasons, and I got traded right before training camp. Before getting traded, I just recently gotten married. So it's near and dear to my heart because you don't know what to expect when you get traded. My wife was working. She had to quit her job. We moved to New Orleans, and from the outside looking in, all I know is Canal Street, Bourbon Street, French Quarter. And so we get here, and we learn that there's so much more to this city. The people welcome you with open arms, so friendly. The food is amazing. Like I said, I probably gained 10 pounds my first week here. The community, tight-knit community, people look out for each other, and it's something that speaks to me. I come from a family and people in Detroit that's very similar, hardworking, tight-knit community. They take care of each other, and they try to have a good time doing it.
Earlier you spoke of goals and steps. You said, when I was in high school, I wanted to be a good high school player. When I was in college, I wanted to be a good college player, then make it to the NBA. And now that you have done all of these things and you check them all off your list, now here you sit as a head coach. What are your goals now as a head coach?
Yeah, great question. I believe in this team. I believe in our staff. I believe in collaborating and a partnership. And I think my goals for this team is to compete for a championship. And so there's steps to getting there. One of our steps is to, we have to make it to the playoffs. And that's what the NBA is about. There's pressure that comes along with all of this. I feel like the beauty in who you are is in hard. And so there'll be challenges. I'm learning. I'm going to grow. I'm going to make some mistakes, but I got a great staff around me, great people around me, and we'll continue to build it the right way.
How much pressure do you feel?
Tremendous pressure all the time. And every day in the NBA is pressure. But that's what we live for. We live for the challenges within that because you learn a lot about yourself, but other people. If you can find a position in the NBA that has no pressure, let me know. Let me know about it. Because it's just what it is. It's a high competitive industry, and we've done it all our lives on different levels of basketball. And then you get to the NBA, and there's pressure to go out, and you put pressure on yourself to do well.
Coach, thank you for your time. And from role player to role player, I could not be more proud of you, and I could not be happier for you. And I am looking forward to your future success, brother.
AD, thank you. I appreciate you, man. Always have admired your professionalism and game, and I'm looking forward and excited to you speaking great things about our team when I watch. Appreciate you.